bans coming out. Lee Sin banned away from Cyanide, and the first Renekton ban of the tournament.
Yeah, no surprise there. We knew it was going to be against PDD. He is a monster on that champion, and that's a respect ban straight away as well. Aatrox taken away from Cyanide. IG clearly remember what Cyanide was like in the World Championships.
Yeah, Aatrox taken away, but has he been practicing it? Because he's not brought this Aatrox to the table so far this season. We'll have to see about that one. Kayle taken away as well. We've seen the more utility style Kayle as she is now after those slight changes, slight nerfs, I guess we could say, to her damage output overall, but a big speed boost that you get from the heal as well. We've seen that in the support role in Europe as well.
Exactly,
so see about that one. At least gone as well.
Yeah, I mean, N-Rated's been running that Kayle lately, so I wouldn't be surprised if Yellowstar maybe would think about picking it up. It's obviously former member of that team, so it's something they're certainly going to look at.
Yeah.
Final ban is against Evelynn. That means Kassadin is open, but I'm not sure, as Froggen said, that whether they're going to go for it. It's Yasuo straight away, first pick.
Yeah, locked in there and no real messing around from IG, so obviously feeling very, very comfortable about that one. Not a champion they've brought to the table so far in the LPL, although we have seen, I think, sporadic Yasuo picks across the board, but for me, a very interesting first choice.
And you got to wonder, has Yasuo been actually enabled in the Chinese scene? I'm not sure if it was, because obviously they've only just got to the 4.2, only 4.3 coming in shortly, so it's probably only just been enabled in China, which is why maybe Fnatic just simply hadn't done the research on this one because they weren't expecting it.
I think it's harder for Fnatic to research IG than the other way around at this point, because Fnatic, they're coming in off 4 games last week, plenty of stuff to watch. Obviously, not on this patch, not on 4.3, we played on 4.2 last week. It was the North American LCS that was first to bring that one out. But here is Lulu. We heard earlier on from the analyst, Lucian, a very, very strong pick at this stage, and the Lulu coming in there. And again, we don't know whether that Lulu's in the top lane for Soaz, in the mid lane for Peke, or hell, even a support Lulu.
Yeah, because Soaz, like you say, he ran it last week, didn't he? Or was it last week, Super Week, or was it 2 weeks ago? I'm not too sure in the top lane. Fantastic. And LeBlanc as well. There's so many champions out there. And actually, China has been running LeBlanc support as well, so that's another option. There's so many things that could happen in this one. Wukong being considered in the jungle for Illusion, but if it is, well, you can see they're clearly discussing. Is it going to be Nocturne? Is it going to be Wukong? Which way do we want to go with this one? Pantheon open, remember. A lot of Europeans have been running that one. Cyanide certainly has gone towards it, but actually Wukong is kind of taking it away from Cyanide. That's the jungler he's been heading towards lately. Yeah,
had a couple of good games actually with Wukong in the past couple of weeks in the LCS as well, but right now IG are sat with both Wukong, and then we'd see the change over there to Thresh. So support Thresh coming in, not going to allow Fnatic to have that Lucian Thresh lane. Interested to see what AD carry comes of that. We can, I guess Caitlyn at this point to go in with Thresh, but Wukong will be in there for IG. What are Fnatic going to go for now? We have the Lulu in there, we've got an AD carry. No pressure to pick themselves up a support right now, but also at the same time keep things hidden maybe for the last picks.
Well, the top lane's clearly going to be an important one now. Is that Lulu in the top lane? Are they going to try and take something? Because obviously we're going to see what PDD has to offer. That may even be Yasuo in the top lane for PDD. Who knows? He is an aggressive champion. We do see, of course, the Thresh that came out. That's an interesting one because it has been banned away a lot from kitties. He tends to run Alistar. Tends to be what he goes with for IG. We haven't seen that for so long in Europe, or certainly to be successful in Europe. It looks like it may well be the Nocturne for Cyanide in there, and there is the Annie. So the Annie Lucian, strong bottom lane for Fnatic.
Yeah, Annie Lucian in there, and Nocturne, another interesting one. We've seen it hit and miss again in the European LCS. People have been playing it as a counter in there to Pantheon, and I think, again, it's going to be down to a similar thing. Wukong not very strong when it comes to ganks and control, up until he hits level 6 and he's got that Cyclone available to him. And at the same time, once Nocturne hits his level 6 as well, he's got that paranoia to cover huge areas of the map to actually get around. What are IG going to be finishing off with here, though? Vayne being hovered over now as the AD carry. They did actually play it a little bit earlier on in the season. They've also had a lot of Lulu in there. A lot of Lucian in there, which is already taken by Fnatic. And currently hovering over Shyvana for the top lane. And again, something that PDD has already played this season in LPL.
Yeah, so Shyvana locked in. I'm so interested if this Vayne gets locked in, because we heard it ourselves from Candy Panda just a week ago talking about the Vayne pick. He said you can't play it unless you got Annie alongside him or banned away. You cannot play it against an Annie. And yet, they've just picked it into an Annie. So how that one's going to work, who knows? Of course, if you land a hook from the Thresh, gets that death sentence in there, it could go all Pete Tong for Reckless. It would be all sorts of trouble. So, final pick for Fnatic. Will this be another mid laner, a double AP comp, which they have been running a number of times in the European LCS? Will we see something for Peke, or will it be a standard top laner for Soaz?
Well, one thing that works in IG's favor here, or something that they've done, he talks about how you don't really want to have that Vayne in there. There's a Kassadin being hovered over by Peke, but IG love to lane swap, which means that this Vayne pick actually can be a little bit safer, and also the fact that it's not going to allow Soaz to have quite the bullying effect that he likes to have in that top lane. It'll make PDD's life a little bit easier as well, but will they actually select this Kassadin? Is Peke confident enough to take this one after the changes that he's had? Obviously, Kassadin here in this very arena was his big champion, and it is going to be a Kassadin pickup for the first game of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship.
No messing around. It's the champion Peke was made famous for right here in Katowice. Fantastic. And we're going to see how this works out. We talked about this straight away. As soon as that Lulu was locked in, we think that was Soaz, and that's what he ran before. So Soaz up against Shyvana on Lulu, that's an interesting play straight away. And remember, we were talking about the Doran's shield. It's not as strong, so probably PDD will be taking that Doran's Blade start. That actually may put him in hot water up against Soaz. So we've seen this a lot of times in China. They do like to lane swap. I wonder if they're going to try and aim for that, which is, of course, with that Vayne Thresh would make sense.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen for them here. We can actually see that Kid at this very moment is running with Cleanse Flash. So obviously feeling that he needs to play a little bit safer with this Vayne to have that extra utility someone is playing there rather than the more standard barrier that we actually see coming out of the AD carries more often. But this is our first game. You guys at home voted 80% in favor of Fnatic, and I actually I feel that this is definitely not an 80-20 game. This is much closer on paper.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how the Kassadin is going to work out for him. We saw High was running it for Cloud9 against Dignitas, and they felt they overestimated that pick. I wonder if Fnatic have done the same thing. We will have to find out. This is going to be a interesting game, and let's not forget the crazy aggression that IG tend to show in their games. If you've not watched them, they will chase kills. They will look on the hunt for kills. Objectives may not follow because they just want to get those kills. They will chase you to the ends of the earth, and it's something that Fnatic are known as. Peke's made some of the great escapes himself with the likes of Nidalee, with the Kassadin, of course, with that backdoor. So definitely going to be an interesting one to watch. Game one of the Intel Extreme Masters. So excited to see how this one goes down. Don't forget, guys, it is best of one. You're halfway to the playoffs if you pick up the victory, but we are going to go in-game. It's IG versus Fnatic here, the first game of the Intel Extreme Masters Season 8 World Championship. And we can see that right away from the start. This is something that we really have to talk about. The supports both going for that Doran shield, despite the changes. Yeah, and that's an interesting start. Of course, Doran's ring being picked up by Soaz in that top lane as well, so he's going to be trying to put some pressure onto PDD. Let's see if they do go for those lane swaps. At the moment, we haven't seen a great deal of level 1 aggression from really any teams. Millennium, who are in attendance, are one of those few teams that do it, so we'll see whether they continue. Of course, that's what really got them there in Sao Paulo. That's what won them that event, their full-on aggressive state. And IG, well, we can see a bit of dancing in the mid lane, wiggling of the bomb for Illusion up against Peke. And Peke, he's obviously going to be playing very passive in the early levels up against ZZTai. Can't really do a great deal until he hits that level 6, but actually, I think that's not a bad matchup, you know, because we're going to have a Yasuo. He wants to get in here, he wants to get his Q, his Steel Tempest onto you, but every time he's going to get just about in range, Peke is going to be able to use that Null Sphere.
Yeah, if he doesn't have to use that for farming because of the pure harassment that's going to come down onto him. We'll see where everyone ends up in this one. We can see that already Kassadin is heading down towards the bottom lane, and the AD carry and support from Fnatic up towards the mid. Early wards just came out there, down on that bottom side, and it's actually forced Peke to recall, so that's going to see the swap coming in. Meanwhile, IG are doing exactly the same, switching their AD carry and support up towards the top side of the map.
So they do want to get that 2v1. We'll see whether it sticks around. We do see Yellowstone Reckless. There they are in that bottom lane. And it does mean it will be a blue buff start for Illusion with the help of Kiddies and Kid. So keep your eye on this one. Well, obviously, what they want to do, they want to try and get that Vayne fed as quickly and as much as possible. But Soaz, with the Glitter Lance, can farm from very long range. Of course, if he gets caught out by the hook, he's in all sorts of trouble. That's no doubt about that one. But he's not going to have any problems farming here.
Now, shouldn't have too much problem. We can expect that Kitties is going to be right up in his face this entire time. We can see that PDD, knowing that he's late down to that bottom lane, actually trying to get as much experience as he can from the jungle, did in fact recall from that one, which will give him a little bit more to work with in that 2v1. And we can see that a ward was just picked up by him on that first trip back. Meanwhile, Illusion, he is all over the place right now. Up on the top side of the Fnatic jungle, we've got Yellow Star down on the bottom side of IG's jungle, along with Cyanide now. They're going to go for a double red buff start.
Yeah, straight in there, going for that steal. Let's see if it works out well for them. They have the stun in there. PDD is about to come around and check it. I'm wondering whether he's going to find Cyanide. Looks like it is going to be a successful red buff steal for him. So Cyanide will back off in there, and of course Illusion doing the same thing. So let's see how this one works out. Shyvana, PDD, of course, went and hasn't hit level 2 yet, despite that farm he took. He obviously went across towards the raids and staying well away. There was the level 2 hit, but you can see Fnatic putting a lot of pressure down. So really, it's all about keeping your eye on that farm. Soaz taking a hell of a lot of aggression in that top lane. This is what we expected. We said, if he gets caught out, that condemn on the wall, which he just had there, because Lulu inherently just does not have the hit points to get caught out by Vayne.
Yeah, Flash completely saved his life there as well. If he'd have not have flashed that condemn, he would have been knocked into the wall much sooner, and they probably would have been able to finish him off. If we look at Illusion though, oh, Peke in the mid lane, going to get dove on here by Z-Tai, and that is first blood coming in from IG so very quickly in this game. 4 minutes in, we talked about how the struggle for Xpeke in this early game might come back to haunt him. That's exactly what happens. Meanwhile, Cyanide finally going up towards his blue buff, and IG going for Soaz. Nice dodge off the hook, but they're going to condemn him against the wall. Flay comes in, exhaust goes down. There is the shield, but it's not enough. Kid picks up the kill. 2-0 IG.
That is the aggression that we talked about, and IG, well, along with the rest of China, are very much known for this one. It was WE that started all that aggression off with the lane swaps, and of course CLG EU were the ones that managed to counter it and figure out how to work it. And Fnatic, well, they're going to have to do the same now because they're seeing how that early aggression pays off. And once IG get ahead, I start to fear for Fnatic, because they are a team that thrives on getting that early aggression, that early pressure down. And Fnatic, well, they have a good late game team. Of course, the Cassadine is going to take a long time to get going, but the fact that he just used that flash, used that teleport, everything was burnt there to try and keep himself safe, and it did not work. And ZZ-Tai, if he can get that Yasuo going, it's a danger.
Yeah, I think Peke is basically going to get mullered now in this mid lane. There's not much chance of him of having a real go at there. You see his damage back onto Z-Tai is behind. He's way behind. 37 to 18 CS. That kill coming in as well. Z-Tai showing that he certainly has this Yasuo down. Meanwhile, we do see Cyanide coming in from the side, but will they be able to lock him down? Z-Tai here moving in forward. Illusion and PDD both come up from this bottom side, and we can see that already that chaotic play style of the Chinese team really coming in nicely. They are going to lose this bottom turret. First one of the game going over to Fnatic. What are they going to do to react to this one? They're farming out really well right now. 45 to 25 in the mid lane. Vayne a little bit behind in CS, but of course picked up that kill earlier.
But look at the difference. Soaz has just got 2 CS. I thought he was going to farm well, but he's actually been pressured so heavily in that top lane. He's not been able to get near it, and Kid and Kitty is doing a grand job at keeping him at bay. As you mentioned, Reckless has got that advantage, big CS advantage, and they're continuing pushing here. So PDD, he's been pressured onto his inner turret. Remember, those bottom turrets are much weaker until they hit the 8-minute mark. PDD still taking pressure. He's going to try and keep him away from that base. He's now strong enough that he can farm the wave slightly quicker. Of course, he's got probably, what, 2 points in Burning Agony there, so he will be able to farm it out. Burning Agony is Mundo. But he is managing to keep him at bay here. Reckless and Yellow Star, what are they going to do? They're backing off, so as again, taking damage. And IG are doing a great job of just keeping that wave, keeping it frozen, really. And so as he's having to put himself in danger every single time, which is why we see Cyanide coming up towards his top lane.
Yeah, Cyanide has to help him out at this point. 20 CS he is behind now of that of PDD, and you can only expect, really, that we see a little bit more help coming in. Annie is actually on that top side, so Yellow Star is going to get involved on this top lane as Soaz there, just out of range of that death sentence coming out from Kitties. But Soaz is pushing himself out, and they should be aware that something's going to happen here. Yellow Star coming around from the side. Where's the stun going to come in? That's a good condemn from Kid. Yellow Star forced straight back out. No action to be had. And that's a 3-man Fnatic team on this top side, but I'm not sure what exactly they're going to be able to achieve apart from pushing that lane straight out here.
Yeah, the rotate coming round. Reckless did not follow. He's still down in that bottom lane, so it is actually just the top laner support and jungler trying to push on this tower. We can see Illusion ready and waiting. They are well aware of this situation. They know how to deal with these dives on towards these towers, which is why they're already in position, already countering it. Look at the mid lane though. Peke is in desperate trouble. He's hit level 6. He's already down to half health, and ZZ putting so much pressure on him. He's got 20 CS farm. That's a big chunk of gold advantage. And Peke, he's just going to have to sit and absorb the pressure and farm. And the rest of Fnatic, of course, without Peke roaming, which is what he wants to be doing, are going to have to sit. Everybody's just going to have to sit and absorb pressure here because it's going to be a slow game for Fnatic to start.
Yeah, it's meant that Yellow Star obviously has to be a bit more of a roaming support this game. It's left Reckless, pretty much to farm on his own in that bottom lane against PDD, who's only got that Doran shield. Not really too much of a danger to Reckless at this point, who's got a BF sword, so he can certainly hold his own at that point. So despite the fact that Yellow Star had to roam about a bit, not really hurting them too much, but it leaves Yellow Star still a little bit far behind on levels. Only level 4 up until now, but this is a nice move from Fnatic, collapsing in onto the Dragon, simply having that positional advantage once Annie goes down to the bottom, and Cyanide's on the bottom side of the map. First Dragon of the game here, going to be going over to Fnatic.
Great move, completely caught IG napping there. They've been focused so much on their rotations in the lane phases, they completely forgot about the big objective that was the Dragon, and then you can see the gold. Look at that, just pulled them to 400 gold between them, and that is exactly what they needed. The experience being shared across there. The Catalyst is now being picked up by Peke. He's going to be a bit stronger in that mid lane, but we do see the static shift for ZZ. That's a worry, because once he starts getting, if he can get that Infinity Edge next, which he's going to be looking for, there is a serious danger. The likes of Soaz could get squatted basically by him, along with the Yellow Star or something like that. So that's the target he's going to be going for. They need to try and figure something out to counter this ZZ, because he is not going to stop. He's got a big CS advantage, and he's going to start roaming any moment.
Farming up a storm. Illusion is actually coming over onto this top side as well. He has now passed that level 6 mark, so he does have his Cyclone available, which is where Illusion's really going to have his biggest impact, whether that's with a Lantern specifically here, maybe from Kitties to get him into position. Bottom lane, once again, was pushed out again and again by Fnatic, just trying to keep the pressure on that front. But now, IG pushing his top lane. Soaz can't actually stick around. He's far too squishy. They can dive him easily.
Yeah, that's a 3-man push. They have the timers because the blue buff is just being taken. So Cyanide and Peke were down there. There was no help for Soaz in that top lane, and that's a turret going across to IG. Their first one of the game. Peke now with that blue buff. Or is he? I'm trying to. Yes, he has. He can just about make it out on the bottom of him. It's one of those skins, so you can see, of course, with that Rift Wolf, it's going to start building up those force pulses. Where is ZZ going? He's going to start invading, and this is starting the pressure that he's starting to put on the team. He's just farming wherever he likes right now. Completely messed up there, though. Didn't want to slide too far away.
No, I don't think he actually meant to go through the wall there. That's what happens sometimes. And look at this. This is a style that we were expecting from IG. They've taken that top turret just from pure pressure. They rotate straight around into this mid lane, and they're going to put pressure on that one. Fnatic have to react to this one, otherwise they're going to lose that outer turret once again.
Yeah, you can see 3 members all shoving in there. We got down the bottom is PDD. That middle turret, well, they've only taken about half the damage, so no matter how much pressure Peke's been under, they haven't got a great deal of damage there. And Reckless, he's staying close by on this bottom turret. They don't want to lose this one out. He's going to, of course, got the culling available if he were required. But now we can see 4 members in towards this mid laners. It's going to be 5 shortly. Rift walk from Peke, making himself avoid that one, but this is a big push from IG. Nothing Fnatic can do to counter this.
Yeah, it's a simple push onto that mid lane. They took the top, they brought the jungler in there for extra firepower as well. An easy turret pickup from IG. PDD had actually started to come up towards this mid lane as well, and it's not really rocket science what they're doing here, IG. You see, swift rotation straight down onto the bottom side. They're looking for that 3rd and final outer turret.
Yeah, they don't want to let Peke get some free farm, but 3 members of IG back in towards this bottom lane, and really only 2 members just coming down. Reckless and Yellow Star going to play defensive duties. They need to make sure they've got good ward coverage, because you can bet your boots ZZ will be looking to make some kills. Teleport coming out here. Where's Peke going? He's coming around the backside of them.
Yeah, but can he get in there for the damage? There's a flash. Timbers comes in nice to the Cullen as well. But they actually went onto the decoy. Kitties is going to die, but can they get any more? Kid pushed onto, he'll knock Peke back. And we actually see Z-Tai coming around. Peke needs to be real careful right here. Dives in on top of Illusion. Illusion still has his ultimate. There's the decoy. Flashes in. Cyclone comes out. Here comes Z-Tai. The pain coming down for Fnatic. Yellow Star's going to die. Peke goes low. He dives into the back. But Kid gets a double. Reckless is going to fall as well. And IG rip Fnatic to pieces.
Well, get wrecked is the tagline for Fnatic, but Z-Tai just stomped his way through with the partnership. Kid, oh, he's taken so low by Peke. Peke just went for the balls deep maneuver, dived straight on towards him, just did not have the hit points to take him down. Cyanide being almost caught out by Z-Tai there, coming around to take away that white. So, all the pressure back on Fnatic. That was the play they wanted. That was the teleport coming out from Peke. It did not work. And Z-Tai, well, he's going to be sat on a mountain of gold now. He hasn't even got boots. You can see 2,200 gold on Z-Tai. He's going to be heading towards that Infinity Edge.
Yeah, it's bad news. It's what we can surmise from this one. Z-Tai actually, oh, he does get away. Auto attack going to follow him back off to base. Blue Wolves coming up once again. We can have a look at some of the items. And one thing that I specifically want to talk about here from IG is those paint wards. They are looking for absolute master control when it comes to vision here. They're going to completely clear out what Fnatic can actually throw them. Only one sweeping lens, which is interesting if you consider the fact they've got 4 pink wards in there to try and keep that control up. But Fnatic can't afford another fight like that. It started off looking quite well for them. Credit to Illusion, he actually held on to his ultimate for so long that it could have a bigger impact there towards the end of the fight. And here we see IG up in the enemy jungle. That's a hook coming in onto the walls. Cyanide is caught out. Everything in there. And Kitty's picking up the kill. Cyanide was doing his wolves, but not in peace. IG come in there and get the kill.
And immediately you see the bottom lane. Reckless and Yellowstar need to get the hell out of dodge. They're going to teleport straight back out there. And this is great play from IG. What, 30 seconds to Dragon. Jungler been taken down. All those pink wards being placed on there, completely nullifying any vision Fnatic had. They have no view whatsoever. They have one single ward. They have it in the river and the tri-bush, but they dare not get down any closer. Soaz is basically blind in this top lane. He's just praying and hoping that they are sticking down the bottom. They know they're going to go towards that bottom turret. Soaz may get this turret down in time. PDD is going to come up, but you can see he's going to keep on poking, and this is what Soaz has to do. He has to just basically play the passive game, play the farming game. But we do see, of course, 4 members of IG taking away that 3rd turret.
You can't do anything against this push. I mean, with Wukong in there, you can't sit in a 2v3 or maybe even a 3v3 underneath that tower, because as soon as the Cyclone comes in, Z-Tai picks his target out perfectly and can take one of those men out so quickly. Peke trying to push stuff out here in the mid lane, but the Dragon spawning in with that vision control that IG had got from those pinks, they're going to get themselves basically a free Dragon from that, and I don't think Fnatic really want to be around this one. We can see they start to back away. IG are actually chasing in from this one. They're looking for a blue up as the pink wards do go down just outside.
Fnatic look like they're thinking of trying to fight this one. They want to just get the steal, but it didn't work out for them. So that means it is Illusion and Kid with the 2 blue buffs and 2 red buffs as well. So everything being picked up by IG in the first opening 15 minutes of this first game at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. Pressure on Fnatic already, and we expected this. We knew IG were going to come into this game aggressive. I believe Fnatic would have been prepared for that. I know for a fact they were preparing, what, last Monday we were talking to them saying how much they're preparing for this tournament and making sure they focused on IG, and they've got a lot of research for it, but like we said at the start, they didn't really know what they were going to go with 4.3. Were they expecting the Yasuo? Did they think that the counter was going to be the Castle? And it was the last pick, so it had to be what they thought was strong. But with the changes, I'm not sure. Froggen wasn't even convinced. And, you know, these are big top-level mid laners. Peke clearly is. But you've got to question Peke's form in the LCS the last few weeks has been a little bit iffy. We'll see how it works out, because this is a big gamble for Fnatic.
Yeah, and the thing is that he's got so far behind in the early game from this choice that he's gone in there for that I'm not sure if he's going to be able to build up and get back. The fact is that Kassadin, he likes to get rolling by picking off one man here and there, setting up those traps, using his ultimate to really break the normal positioning rules, I guess we can say. But the fact is, IG have been together in a group, pushing turrets down. We saw when they went into the jungle, they killed Cyanide on his own wolves. They were 4 men as they pushed in there for that one. Right now, they're as a group of 3. We see PDD on the top side. Fnatic kind of split between the two, but they don't own their jungle anymore. That jungle belongs to IG.
Yeah, Reckless was a little bit caught out there, and if IG had pushed, he may well have been completely out of position. Instead, they're continuing to take anything they like. Like you said, it's just not Fnatic's jungle. IG have complete control, and they really are going to have to try and shut down Zeta. You just saw the stun coming out there. The fireball from Yellowstar did not land, quickly blocked it off, and that's maybe going to be a problem. Luckily for him, there isn't a great deal of projectile. Of course, the Glitter Lance being the big one for Soaz, if he can get built up, if he can get that Lich Bane out there. He's got the Morellonomicon in there. Lich Bane may well be the second item he wants.
As Yellowstar trying his best to regain some control here for Fnatic. See, they've pushed up a little bit further on the map to allow Yellowstar that freedom to move around in his own jungle. We can see the BF Sword is now added in there for Zeta, who's pretty scary, 2-0-3. He's got 50 CS more right now on the board than that of Xpeke. And again, IG staying in this 3-man group, the AD carry support with Illusion in there as well. A scary 3 players to even think about going up against. And if we look at the level difference there between the 2 mid laners, yes, Peke's just hit level 11, but Zeta already miles ahead at level 12 as well. And Fnatic, while they're going to be able to stop him pushing out there, it might not be getting any easier for them because Zeta has just added that Infinity Edge into his static shift.
Yeah, he's now got his full build effectively for Yasuo. Has still only just picked up the level 1 boots. That's all he needs, honestly. If he can manage to dive in there, of course, he's got Illusion on Wukong to do the knockups. PDD technically can knock up when he pulls out that ultimate. You can get the Flay knockup. Everything is suited for IG in this team comp for that Yasuo. They really have to try and shut him down early. And you can see they're trying to make some plays here. They're trying to regain their jungle. They're trying to fight for that red buff, but again, they don't get it. PDD manages to take it away from them.
Yeah, and the Hawk coming out, I mean, not the biggest of damage threats there with Thresh and Shyvana there, but the rest of IG were just behind them coming up, just in case that would work out for them. If we take a look at the minimap here, we can see that Fnatic have now finally got a bit of control back in their own jungle. 3 wards down the bottom, 3 on the top side of their jungle as well. So that's obviously been a priority here for Fnatic, but IG, to be honest, they're still running pretty rampant in the Fnatic jungle because even though Fnatic have got some vision back, they can't really go in there and stop IG taking away everything.
Yeah, but you could argue that all those pink wards that IG invested in really weren't made that much use of. Fnatic played it safe, and that's exactly what they needed to do. They sat back, relaxed, and they're just getting themselves a little bit of farm. Yellowstar and Cyanide pushing in here. They find themselves kiddies. They do get in, they get the stun, but they can't follow through on it. Now they're in Sorbol. They're going to have to back away from this one. You can see Zeta making his way up the river, and everybody from Fnatic does successfully back away.
Looking for a pick, that's what they need to get back into this game. They have to catch people out. Zeta actually just walking straight up the mid lane, pretty much alone on this one, but we can see the damage that comes out for him. Makes absolute mincemeat of those minions. There's a knockup onto Yellowstar. Doesn't follow through though.
No, that's just how confident Zeta is though. That actually may backfire on them though. If they get a little too overconfident, a little too cocky, you can be sure that Fnatic will pounce on it. They have the abilities, and remember, we're only waiting for Peke on Cassidy to just get going. That's all he needs, just a little glimpse of something to try and maybe pick up some kills. He has got the abilities starting to build there. What's that? Looks like it's Rabadon's Death Cap. He's going, sorry, the Zonya's Hourglass building in there. You can see they're starting to put poke in Z-Tie. They're going into it. They do get Z-Tie down. Can they finish it off though? BDD gets popped out with the Wild Red. Cyanide caught out. He gets himself back away there. They do manage to get thrown down. IG chasing on towards Soaz, using that shield. Has he got enough? Does manage to pixie on towards BDD. Now we see Reckless, he gets down Illusion. They're chasing on towards IG here. Peke can chase, he's got full mana built up and he's going to try and catch on. Rift walks across. PDD trying to get away from this one. IG going to make a rotate round here. Peke can close the door, but it's against 3 members of Invictus Gaming. They have to be so cautious on this one.
They're going to try and recall here from the Tribush, and actually I think they might get away with this one. Kid has left it quite late to hit that button, and he's going to be the last one to get out of there. He's going to be stopped as well. He's not going to be able to get away from this. He tries to get onto Reckless. There is the shutdown that Fnatic were looking for. That right there was perfect for Fnatic to start their comeback in this game. The Dragon is now up for them. No one from IG left on the map, even close to being able to challenge for this one, and that brings them right back into it, at least in gold for now. The question is, can they pull another team fight? They need at least one more that goes that well for them.
We talked about the overconfidence that Z-Time maybe was building in there, and he was picked off instantly. Soaz now running for his life here. Z-Time really wanted to get across there, trying to catch something on towards him. Shield coming out from Cyanide. They're going to keep him safe. And this is dangerous play from IG because they just gave a kill and 2 assists across to Peke. That's all he really needs, and you can see immediately Zhonya's Hourglass almost completed now. He's got the major components of it, and once he gets dived on, he's just going to pop that Zhonya's and turn straight back around. You saw how they collapsed onto Kid there. Kid, a shutdown on him was exactly what they needed because we all know how dangerous a Vayne can be. They've got a lot of dangerous components, IG, a lot of damage, but there's a lot of crowd control from Fnatic to try and lock him up. Yellowstar caught out. It's going to go down. That's not what they needed. That's for sure.
Now that's pretty much the exact opposite of what Fnatic have just really built themselves up in that one. Yeah, he's out there trying to clear wards, trying to get some vision back for Fnatic. They're actually going to make a bit of a play towards this mid tower. PDD going to be stopped there by Kassadin, coming across quickly and maybe starting some things off. So they've killed out Yellowstar. They've wrestled control back now of this mid lane. We'll see what IG are going to go for next. I think PDD's quite happy to get back to that top lane. He's approaching 200 CS, already got his Sunfire Cape in there, going to be moving up on towards that Spirit Visage. Next, as you mentioned earlier, we did have the Morellonomicon coming out for Soaz, and he's got an extra blasting one in that. But again, IG staying is this 4-man team trying to, well, stay together because that's the safety in numbers from this one, especially when you've got Z-Tai in there and all those knockups for him to really feed off.
Trying to do a little bit of Baron bait there. Cyclone's still not available for IG, so they're really playing with fire because Fnatic are fairly tactically astute. They will manage to read the situation, but they are playing it defensively. They do manage to catch on the Baron. That's going to force an attack on PDD, who has to take the Lantern. He's thrown out there. You've got to go for it. They're trying to collapse on. Yellowstar almost caught out again, and it's the little bit of Baron fight that IG really want to try and start off here. Fnatic not really falling for it. They have to get a ward because they've got no vision of that pit right now, and that's what Yellowstar's trying to do. And they're just going to jump straight on. Yellowstar taken down. Cyanide in trouble. The Culling doing good damage, but they've already lost 2 members, and now Peke's going to get closed in on. Does manage to get the Force Force down there. Soaz is going to back away, but that is 2 members down. The jungler and support. IG going Baron.
And that was, for me, very interesting. I mean, I'm not sure why they went for that. They saw the ward being put down in this brush. They didn't have the vision inside Baron Pit itself. That was a risky move in itself to go behind there. IG going to start off the Baron. Let's see if they can finish it off. Kid's going to be the focus of Peke there, but the Baron already low. They've hooked in Soaz as well. Baron at least 1 kill more coming down for IG, and now Reckless inside of that mid lane. He's going to have to run for his life. Peke will be safe, but IG decide not to chase, but they might be able to take a couple of towers here. Actually, they are moving down towards this bottom lane, which is already pushed up as well.
IG simply outplaying Fnatic there. They knew exactly what they're doing. They knew the setup for that kill. That death sentence landed, and everybody from IG, the steam train, just coming straight across that Baron wall and destroying Yellowstar and Cyanide. And they're just the 2 people you needed. Of course, that big Tibbers, you could get that flash Tibbers in there. That would interrupt IG so much. But without that, they're going to be playing defensive again for 4 minutes while that Baron buff wears off, and it's a case of what will IG take, because at the moment they can take what they please.
Yeah, literally anything that they want is theirs. We can see that PDD now, with that extra cash injection, has got himself that Spirit Visage. Also moving up to, I'm guessing, that Blade of the Rune King in here next. Soaz on the other side is slowly but surely getting up towards that Rabadon Seth cap. Z-Tai now, he's 4-1-5, finally getting himself a little bit more protection, actually, after that Infinity Edge and Static Shift combo. Basically, the 2 items for Yasuo at this stage of things. They're managing to control that blue buff heal once again, so that's not going to be in the hands of Peke, although he will have his Zhonya's Hourglass finish, and something that they're going to need because he has to dive into the rest of into the enemy team to really do the damage, as we heard earlier from Frog, and that ultimate needs to be used not just as mobility but as a damage source, which means that Zhonya's is going to help them out a hell of a lot going forward.
Yeah, the problem with Fnatic, I mean, they went for the champions that just need to get that farm going. The Kassadin has to get a lot of farm going on there to start going on. It takes him a while. Oh, Cyclone catching out Yellowstar once again, and he is destroyed where he stands. Teleport cancelled by Peke. Did not want any of that, and that is exactly all IG needed. Simple pick, and now they're going to go straight towards the tower. They sniffed out Peke coming in. Mid lane is all open for IG.
Yep, just waiting for those minions actually to come in, and while there is the big minion, I think PDD can just walk straight through here, tank that one up. Fnatic are on the steps of their base. They know that they can't really fight from this on. There's a great wall coming out from Z-Tai, and that will stop them actually putting any pressure down and having any kind of impact on how they can defend that turret. There's another lantern which will send them off, clear out the jungle. PDD's already done the work up top to get this lane pushing back off towards the tower, and another inner tower should fall here. I'm not sure that Fnatic will want to fight for it. There's no Tibbers up right now for Yellow Star. That's a big part of their combo right now. If they don't have Tibbers, I don't see how they can win a fight.
They're just trying their best to delay out this bound up team. Z-Tai is looking to make a move. Oh, PDD might try and sneak around the backside. Yellow Star sees him, has that ward in place, but he could just pop that Dragon Descent and dive on that tower and tank it up for a large portion. And really, he's quite happy to be the focus of damage. He's the tankiest member, and Fnatic, they just got to give up on this again. Another wind wall goes down. Easy, easy turret for IG.
Not a problem for them. Only one left standing outside of the base at this point, and that's in that bottom lane, and that's not quite pushed up just yet, but PDD once again will go down there, start the work off, and the rest of the team will come around to help finish that one off again. I don't really see what Fnatic can do to even stop that from happening. I mean, even the culling to get rid of the minions to force them to tank up the turret is completely blocked by that wind wall that Z-Tai can throw down.
And this really sends a message to a lot of other teams. IG are dominating form here, and WE are technically a better team than IG. So that's a real worry for Cloud9, who are going to be facing them later on in the day. Of course, all the games in the group stage will be played today. A lot of matches coming out today, and so far Fnatic, they are not looking the strongest in their first game. Of course, they will be playing the loser of the second matches, which is KT Bullets versus Millennium. That's coming up straight after this one. And IG, of course, will be playing the winner of that game. All of those games coming today. Big, big tournament. And Fnatic, they are not looking good in their first game.
Now, and starting off in a normal group stage, for example, the group stage we saw last year, that we can't forget how Gambit got through the group stage on a time difference and went on to be world champions. It's not the same this year around. We've got that double elimination group stage style that is actually quite unforgiving. You lose 2 games, you're definitely out. You lose your first game, and you know that then you have to play the loser of the second game. And heads can be down after that one loss, and especially when this is a fairly clear-cut win as well, for now at least, for IG. I'm not going to say that they definitely win out in this game, but it's looking very, very good for them. 10,000 gold ahead. We're about to hit the 30-minute mark in this one. No turrets left standing outside of Fnatic's base.
And does this send a message to the rest of the teams? Do not pick Kassadin, because it doesn't seem as strong as he used to be, or is it simply a case of Peke did not play it right in the matchup against Z-Tai? Because you can see Z-Tai now 100 CS advantage and honestly dominated the lane phase. And this is something we know the Chinese teams can do. Fnatic certainly know it. They had that exact same problems against Royal Club in the World Championships, and back then Cyanide was able to carry them through it, try and keep them in there, despite the fact they ended up losing. But Cyanide himself, he's been struggling. He's been trying to counter anything he can do, but just look at him. He is pure tank right now, and that's just not working because IG are just blitzing the likes of Yellow Star, the likes of Soaz. Once they get caught out, they are going down in seconds because they simply don't have the hit points to deal with the massive damage that can come out from Kid and Z-Tai.
Yeah, and he can't really dive straight into the back there either. We've seen that when he dives into the team, you've got pretty much Cyclone running in there, so you go in, you get knocked up instantly, and we've seen, I mean, he is still pretty squishy. Got that Randuin zone in there now finally, so he is a little bit more tanky against that damage that's coming out from Vayne, from the mid laner as well there with Yasuo. So we'll have to see how this one all progresses. Baron buff has now run out. You can see there the timer in the top left. That's coming back into play in 40 seconds. Wards all in favor of IG. Fnatic have nothing really outside of their base. One a little bit up in mid lane, one just over the top of the wall, but wards that you throw out from safe places basically is all that Fnatic have on this map. That gold lead only increasing. It's 6-2 in turrets here. There's a couple of pings down in mid lane there from Soaz. I think he was looking to have a bit of a go at Kitties, but probably not even going to be enough to kill him there. IG have been so fast at rotating into these fights. Kitties gets away before Soaz and Reckless can get there.
Yeah, nobody could get close, and still only just those 2 turrets, still yet to take this mid outer turret down. They may well get near it this time. Reckless is getting in there. He has got himself, of course, that Phantom Dancer along with the Last Whisper. added to that bloodthirst report very early on, but the moment Z-Tai comes in there, Wave gets completely cleared out, and Fnatic have to back off.
PDD's even cheeky enough to come in behind the position of Fnatic there, take himself the Wraith camp and back straight off. The pink wards that Fnatic have been trying to get in there once again, gonna be cleared out. We see the sweeping lenses being pushed in there as well. There's another pink ward, Kitty's putting that one in, and that's complete Baron control that they have once again, and they're gonna kick off Baron. Fnatic will have a hunch that this one's going off. They've known that their wards have gone down, but how are they gonna try and fight this one? Cyanide's gonna have to steal.
They're going to have to 5-man. They need to get that flash. Tibbers in there. There's the Cullen. It's catching on towards them. Yellowstar hooks. Oh, he's in trouble. He has to use his Tibbers. He catches 3 members, but is it enough? We do see that it's going to be 1 kill. I'm not too sure they can get any more, though, because Vayne comes in. They've taken down Z-Tai. That's a big one. Reckless gets himself that double. They get the stun on Kid, but he quickly gets cleansed off there. And PDD, the monster that he is, goes diving in there. Peke caught out by their Cyclone, but they can chase on this one. Illusion getting taken low. The Baron was picked up by IG, but the damage is being done by Fnatic. But Illusion takes down Peke. It was a 4 for 3 in the end, and the Baron went to IG. But Fnatic, they're not out yet.
4 for 3. I think it was actually the decoy there that killed him by the end. Incredible stuff. Fnatic gonna try and get something back from this one. Yes, they've lost the Baron, but they're gonna try and have some turrets. Need to be careful here because PDD has that Blade of the Ruin King in there, so he can do damage. Reckless has to back away from things along with Soaz. Reckless actually getting himself the double buff in and amongst that one. So again, a look back and we see a 10,000 gold lead is what we have still for IG in this one, but Fnatic have just shown that they can fight these ones. Yellowstar, he got hooked in there pretty early, got his Tibbers off though onto 3 men. And we've seen, I think, a couple of fights that Fnatic have done well in. Z-Tai has been focused down very, very quickly, and his damage is gone before they can really have an impact.
Yeah, and IG, more importantly, have been focusing Yellowstar, which has bought the time for Reckless to just get the kills. You can see 6-1-2. He is a big, shining beacon of hope for Fnatic right now. He has the build, he has the damage. Can he get his free hits? Because in that fight, he was all on his own, managing to do that damage. And Kid and Z-Tai, once they go down, you already saw it there. IG are kind of floundering. And if they can get focused, which is why you see the Banshee's Veil was picked up by Z-Tai as his 3rd item, now he's starting to build armor because he's suddenly realized Reckless is a big threat in the fights.
They have to kill him, and this, if there's any time to shine for Reckless, this would be it. He's been solid even through the bad times for Fnatic in the European LCS, but this is a game, if any ever for him to step up, this would be it. 6-1-2 currently, 310 CS with Bloodthirst, the Last Whisper, and the Blade of the Ruin King Phantom Dancer combo there on Lucian. And we'll see how this one all works out for him. IG, again, they've managed to get themselves into the Fnatic jungle, get the vision down. We see Z-Tai and Illusion getting themselves a free dragon from that one. They've got that Baron buff on at least a couple of the members still, of course. And that's at least keeping Fnatic at bay for now. They know that they still can't really fight unless it's on their terms.
Yeah, they are having a problem at sieging these final turrets, so they're yet to push in, yet to put any damage at all on these inhibitor turrets. And Fnatic, they have the wave clear now. They have the potential to keep them back. And let's not forget, the longer we go, the longer, stronger Kassadin's going to get. He's trying to sit on that gold. He's got just shy of 2,000 gold now. Needs to continue counting it up. Also, Soaz, he's got out for Abaddon's death cap. He's trying to get that Lichbane on there. And then there's going to be serious problems for IG.
This is almost the perfect scenario, I think, for Fnatic, because those inner turrets offer a lot less protection on what the steps into the base are going to have them right now. Cyanide can jump in there and have the wild growth knock everyone off. There's a good bit of damage on towards PDT, and when I say good bit of damage, I say that, yeah, not really a lot landing in onto him in the end. He is so ridiculously tanky at this point. Got himself a bit of damage in there as well with that Blade of the Ruin King. Kitty's just trying to hook Yellowstar down as they battle out for the wards, but IG certainly got positional control, but I'm wondering how they're going to be able to break through the barrier of the steps onto the inhibitor turret.
Yeah, they only have the Vayne with the range damage. He is pretty short. Z-Tai, of course, can clear the way very quickly, but he's going to have to literally stand on that turret if he wants to do damage to it. And Fnatic are ready and waiting. And IG are seemingly a little bit unaware of what to do right now. They are continuing to farm. They're continuing to keep that gold in their favor, and that's all well and good, but the numbers are getting bigger. People are starting to build, what, 3, 4, 5 items now. and that's going to be a problem. I'm just not too sure how this is going to work out for IG. Nocturne's going to be used. They're diving on the mid lane.
They're going on towards Kitty's here, but will they be able to finish him off? There's Tibbers put down. They just want a single kill. It's a good pick here for Fnatic. Peke actually going to get that one in the end. That's a good thing for them. He's now got a Death Cap and Void Staff in there along with his Rod of Ages. We thought he was going to go Zhonya's. Actually just took the Seeker's Arm Guard armor and a little bit of AP from that one. Decided, you know what? No, I'm not going to go that safe way. Let's go full out damage and see what we can do in this one. It's pretty tanky from that Rod of Ages as well. We also see the Void Staff now added in for Soaz as well. Fnatic headed down towards Dragon, which is not there at this point now.
Yeah, we're seeing the lack of vision that Fnatic have. They've been basically holed up in their base for so long. They've really got no wards out there. They're finally starting to get some coverage down there. We saw Reckless. He went up to counter, make sure PDD didn't get any damage on towards that turret. And they are making moves. This is a good turnaround for Fnatic. They've now got themselves 4 turrets and they are starting to be the aggressor. They're starting to put pressure on that tower. But you saw how long it took to just kill Kitties. Kitties, the support member, had everything used there. PDD is getting damage now, has to use that ultimate, gets stunned up there, and we also see Illusion coming around. IG are starting to question whether they've got the ability to win the fights.
I think so as well. As long as they're not in this full team, we can see that they don't want to fight, but Fnatic don't either. They want to be picking people off, backing away from things. Didn't quite get in there. Ultimate, as you said, was used by PDD just to drag him back to safety of that tower. Illusion also not taking too much damage because he has that Banshee's Veil, as does Zitai now as well. But Fnatic, they're quite happy with that one. They'll push things out, go back into base, spend up what they've got, and try and get in position once again to catch IG out. And if we look at the minimap, there's actually no wards. It's a stark contrast to maybe 10 minutes ago in this game where IG had full vision control of the Fnatic jungle. We've got 1 minute to come up until the Baron comes up, which tells me that IG are going to have to start pushing forward. Fnatic have already begun that warding phase. This Yellow Star here going to get caught out once again. They're going on towards Reckless. Here comes the ultimate out of Cyanide. Illusion's going to go down. Cyanide going to get caught in it. Are they going to want to fight this one? They're looking for the pickup. Kid up towards the side. He's not going to be the focus, but he needs to be the focus because Fnatic have been ripped to pieces. Cyanide is going to go down. Peke falls. Yellow Star goes down as well. And now only Soaz running away from that one. Reckless is on the bottom side of middle. He's going to run through his own jungle. That's a 3-for-1 in favor of IG. With Baron coming up in 15 seconds, they can get the inhib and they can go back for the Baron.
You've got to give credit to Zitai. That wind wall was amazing. Completely blocked the attack. And they should have backed out. The moment they got Illusion, just back the hell out. Instead, they gift themselves an inhibitor turret, which IG have been struggling so hard to get. And that inhibitor will fall down. They may well be able to push through here. There is a 18 seconds still spawn time, so I think IG probably will back away from this one. Kitty's almost catching on Reckless there, but that culling was completely nullified by the wind wall. And IG, you said it for yourself. They had to be looking at Kid. They couldn't get the focus on him. They're going to run straight for Baron.
They are going straight in there for Baron. Couple of wards down from Fnatic, so they've got vision of this one. Cyanide has no ultimate, so he's got no quick dive over that wall and straight into the Baron pit. Soaz is off to the side, dodges pretty much everything. The culling comes through, but IG pick up the Baron. That'll be a bit more safety for them and a bit more gold. They're headed up towards 6 items at this point.
Yeah, this is dangerous times for Fnatic once again. They survived the fight this time, but that inhibitor, the fact that that is down, Super Minions coming up that mid lane, they're going to be hauled up in their base again for another 4 minutes while that Baron is up. Dragon's up in 20 seconds. They need to try and get that, maybe get themselves some gold back in there, but they need a better fight. Their focus was lacking, and honestly, I thought the game was over. I thought that game was over the moment they started to fall and flounder at the Baron buff. They got themselves a pick, but they got greedy. They tried to take too much, and IG is so fast to react. And this is something we've seen from the Eastern teams, like the Chinese, the Korean teams, how quick they can counter those ganks. And they were there, ready and waiting. And once they basically used everything on Illusion, Zitai and Kid were just free-flowing, running through the team. And at this stage, a level 18 Vayne, this fed, is a problem.
Yeah, and it's bad news when, you know, Reckless is the 7-1-2 gotta carry kind of person, and you've got that wind wall there, which is gonna completely take him out of the fight. Everyone can just sit back, and basically allow Reckless to do nothing while you get ready to dive back on him. At this point, IG are actually making a play on this bottom lane. Again, PDD leading that charge, pushing that wave right up on towards the turret. Let's see if IG can take this one.
He's so tanky, and he's just going to walk in and tank it. Fnatic so slow to react to this one. The inhibitor turret's going to go down. They have to sort of give this one across. They're keeping him at bay. They're making sure PDD does tank every little bit of damage. But again, they have a lot of damage. Timber's been used. Dragon Descent was used, though. He gets away, and straight away they can just turn this back around. Get the last hit on there. It's Kid that finishes off the turret. Now they're going to turn aggressive. Psycho catching on towards Sires. See Reckless going down. That is over. Fnatic are going to lose this game. IG picking up the win. They've taken down the AD carry. The only thing stopping, the moment Pege gets knocked in the air, he gets pounced on by Invictus Gaming. A fantastic performance by the Chinese team that came into this tournament. We were doubting whether they had the ability to take down Fnatic, but they have proven they are way stronger than we thought, and it's a great victory in game one.
20,000 gold lead here by the end. A good fight there, and they got in on towards Reckless, the man who was really the only hope to carry Fnatic.